We are live.
We are live, my friend.
There's a ghost in my apartment. Wait for it.
Gavin seems to be having light issues here.
What is going on?
First, he doesn't pay for his Wi-Fi. Now he's not paying his electricity.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Otherwise, my laptop would be gone off, mate.
Yeah, but
Come on.
Your
Spreading malicious rumors.
Your laptop has got battery still. It doesn't need electricity. You see, I have an answer for everything, my friend.
So annoying. So look, again, I'm going to cut the intro theme short because we have got a lot to get through. Happy Tuesday. Roddy's in the house. Good to have you with us, Roddy. Slavomir. Hello, everyone. Sorry I missed yesterday's session, which basically means that Paul, who won yesterday, won by default. I think is what he's inferring. However, it's the same result as yesterday. Paul, via YouTube, a good Tuesday crypto afternoon to you, gents. That cocky. I like it. I like your style. I'm sorry about the light. I have no idea what's going on right now. Do you want to say what you thought I looked like? Who was it? Ross from Friends.
Oh, before, yeah. There was a, what was it? Like you said, there was a fake tan, and then he would glow in the dark. But you're not glowing anymore, mate. You were glowing before.
That's exactly what it is, mate. It's winter here. I actually sat out on the balcony today in the sunshine, which is great. But
mate, the weather in London is terrible.
Is it really?
Terrible, mate. It's not. This has not been. There's hardly been any decent days. So it may as well be winter here. Okay. I mean, the only thing is it's not cold. That's the only thing. Advantage.
Oh, that's good then. That's good.
There you go. You're glowing now, like Ross Geller. Who remembers that episode in Friends where he put some fake tan on and he's glowing in the dark?
Of course, you would remember that.
Obviously, but we're the same age, mate. So don't try and bring the age thing in. In fact, you're older than me, aren't you? Are you older or are you younger? Or we're the same?
Right. We're the same. Let's just go with the same.
I think you're older then. That means
probably. Kevin remembers it.
There you go, Kevin. Well done.
Who just really random, but for people our age. People younger will be like, what the hell are these guys going on about? Who was your favorite Friends character, mate?
Oh, Chandler Bing.
Was it?
Yeah, definitely.
Let us know. You're watching live. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Who was your favorite Friends character?
Sorry to interrupt you. Carry on. No, I was going to say, have you seen the reunion Friends thing? It was pretty good.
Was it really?
They look really old. Well, the blokes look really old. I've got to say, the women have done well.
Wow. I think we know why.
Please share, Gavin. The women, I'm sure, would love to hear your thoughts on that.
The green juices, right? They live in LA.
Oh, right. Okay, there you
go. Green juices and weekly massages. So Claire Harris is in the house. Hers is Chandler Bing. Kevin saying Chandler Bing. Raj in the house. She's saying they look good for their age. Zachariah is saying money. I think he wants to get on with the show and talk money, not
he's
friends.
Like, yeah, come on, let's make some money, people. Forget friends. They're already rich.
Raj has said it. She's gone straight there. That's code. Green juices is code for Botox.
No, it's not just Botox. I think, well, yeah, probably, to be fair.
Exactly that. So look, we will get cracking. Charles Burr is in the house as well. So the last 7 days of the crypto circus, and that's what it's become, literally. It's laughable, some of the things that are happening, but there are some good things that are coming from this, and there are some things of genuine, legitimate concern that you want to be aware of 100%. So let's start with the laughable first. So I've been getting messages from people. I mean, I've had issues ever since February with Binance and Barclays. That was one of the main accounts. If I did use a traditional bank, then Barclays was the one because I had that account the longest. And I had so many issues trying to send money over from Barclays to Binance. And then now, obviously, people are getting messages saying you're not allowed to send any money in light of the recent news, should we say, quote unquote. But still, people with Lloyds and Santander bank accounts, they can send money over to Binance without.
I've got a First Direct account, which is part of HSBC. That's all fine.
And HSBC, we'll add that one to the list. So at the moment, it just seems that there's Barclays. Do you have any idea, and do you want to put any comment on what the heck is going on with that? Like, it's madness, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't really worry about it. I mean, the banks, I think every single sort of traditional bank is going to be threatened by cryptos anyway. And there's so many warnings before you send anything. The first time you send money to Binance, there's a whole load of warnings about it could be a scam, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to concern me. At the moment, Binance themselves have just stopped sterling coming in until they resolve their internal things. But whether the reality is that you can move to another crypto exchange and everybody's free to do that. And there's no issue. You could absolutely do that. But why are they particularly targeting Binance? I mean, they're one of the biggest, the biggest exchange aside from maybe Coinbase, but in terms of like users and the amount of trading that goes on because of the amount of variety, they're the biggest. So they're the ones that are getting hit right now, but then it will be another one soon enough. So, if you're going to be in cryptos, you're going to have these kind of bumps. But the reality is like, I've got my funds in there. I can trade them. There are people that have found ways around it. I suggested some ways. If you wanted to deposit still money to Binance, like you can do it through your US dollars and euros. You can use a Revolut account. I think you can do it on TransferWise as well. So these non-traditional companies, the techie companies like Revolut, they've got no issues sending money to Binance. So,
and that's really interesting you say that. So the last however long, let's just say 4 years, maybe it's a little bit longer than that, since I've been kind of living the life of a digital nomad and traveling around and going around the world and working from my laptop, the laptop lifestyle. I stopped trying to even use the banks, like the hassles that I had trying to get money for things. And I love TransferWise. They've changed their name now to Wise, and they're so transparent with everything. So they're like, look, we don't actually have the Andy's gone now. Maybe he's got the ghost. That'll be quite interesting. This will be brilliant. I want to get this on video, guys. Can someone just message in and say they've still got me live, so you can still hear and see me, but it's actually Mr. Demi that is vanished from us? That'll be brilliant. Can someone just confirm that on the message, please? Brilliant. That is awesome. Yes. Andy is gone. Nicholas, thank you very much on YouTube tuning in. Demi has disappeared. That is a good one. We're going to call him Double D from now on. Let's just call him Double D and he won't know. Dan DJ, thank you for confirming that. We've got Snake Trader in the house. Local Bitcoin, also anonymous. Dan Tyler in the house as well. Dan, let's jump on. You and I, we can do it instead. Still got Gav. Andy, however, Double D has done one. So what I was going to say was I got a message from Wise because I use them exclusively now. And what's great about Double D is back.
My laptop switched off.
Sorry? You're not making excuses, are you?
Look, it was not plugged in. It's nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. It's Gavin.
Oh, hey, we're just saying an excuse is an excuse, mate, as far as we're concerned. And from now on, your nickname is Double D.
No. Yeah,
it is.
No such thing.
There is now. Trust me. So anyway, look, I was coming to this point, and I've got it on video, by the way. I've got people's comments saying this is a monumental moment for me. So thank you, everybody, for indulging me. But there was a point that I was going to bring up, which is quite interesting, that I've just realized. So, and you might be able to say, were you doing the middle finger head scratch then, by the way?
I wasn't, but I should do it.
Come on, Double D. So what's just gone off in my head was TransferWise, or Wise as they're now known. They don't insure, so they actually hold the money safe, but they don't insure it. And they're like, look, we give you full transparency of what we do with your money. We do put money in different accounts, but we don't actually spend it. Whereas the old way of doing things is fractional banking, right? I'm sure you know about fractional banking. Anybody that doesn't know about fractional banking here, I'd be surprised. But if there are a few people, then let us know, and we can kind of just give you a quick fill in on it, but or just Google it or YouTube it. Now, because the banks have got this whole game that's worked so, like, you look at the bank's business model, right? It's a tremendous business model. Freaking amazing. Zachariah is saying, what's fractional banking? So I'm going to give you, it's a 10-second elevator pitch version. Andy can cut in because I'm probably going to butcher it, but they take your money. So for every £10 of money that they have, they only maybe hold £1 or £2 of it. And then the other £8 they create loans. They basically give it out. So it's not actually in their hand. So they're just making money upon money upon money on thin air, basically. Would you say that that's a pretty accurate synopsis, Mr. Demi?
Yeah, so like that's why there's always a panic if there's a run on the banks. Like if people wanted to all deposit their money all in one go, the money's not there.
So, and you filled this in brilliantly. So we're all at that level. Now imagine this. Barclays, you wouldn't want your customers who are with Barclays and are also with Binance making money on cryptos, because as soon as they make money on cryptos, they take it from Binance, it goes through to Barclays. Guess what you got to do? You make 5, 10 grand or 500 quid, £1,000. People are going to start going to the banks and trying to take money that probably doesn't even exist, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's possibly a consideration.
On a bigger scale, but on a bigger scale. Obviously, they don't care about it now with Nicholas. It's a legal Ponzi scheme. You've hit the nail on the head, my friend. An absolute nail on the head. And I'm not saying that it's very apparent now, but those guys are panicked. They're definitely spooked. And if this becomes a bigger thing and people are making larger funds, over time, that will catch them out. That might be it. I don't know. It's just come to me now. So
that's why I've kind of been saying in my opinion, the best place to invest in cryptos is the DeFi space. That's going to change the world. That's going to be how you get finance. Just in my opinion, it's 100% going to happen. So decentralized finance. That's no credit checks. You're getting being lent money based on your holdings. It's such a better system, and it opens the door for anybody. So if you've had bad credit, you'll probably understand it. Like in the past, where you literally can't do anything for 6 years. People go through that period, even though that, you might have business owners, you might have people that are just had a bad experience. You can't get a loan because your credit score isn't deemed worthy enough. But actually, with the DeFi, with the way it works, it's like it doesn't matter what your credit score. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. If you've got assets, you can use those assets and you'll be lent money on top of those assets, and you can go and use that elsewhere. So if you're holding Bitcoin, for example, you can borrow dollars, you can borrow pounds, you can borrow more Bitcoin, you can borrow whatever you want from these decentralized finance companies and use it as you wish. Like, say, if you have Bitcoin, instead of selling it to go and buy a property, you can borrow some money because you've got loads of Bitcoin. You believe Bitcoin's going to go much higher. Why sell it? You can borrow some money off the back of it, put your deposit down, go and buy your property. for example. And even mortgages are probably going to be done that way in the future. I think all lending is going to go that way.
And the the status quo, should we just call them that? The game's up. It's just a matter of time. It really is a matter of time, and that's why, in my opinion, like you say, decentralized finance is gonna revolutionize how we do things and how we interact. And you know that there's companies already with your assets. You can get a loan, and you can get interest on your loan of your assets that actually makes you money, even though you're taking out a loan. You're not paying anything for the loan. Unbelievable. It's happening now, guys. It's happening now in front of our eyes, but this will never be on, it will be on small niche or niche, depending on which part of the world you're watching this, channels, and people like us talking about it. And obviously you tell your friends and your friends tell their friends. And then before we know it, we're all in on it, and we all empower ourselves to kind of know this new way. It's super, super exciting. And that's the main reason why I want to get behind this. Are all cryptos perfect? Hell no. No way. Is Binance perfect? No. Is it morally or ethically perfect? Probably not. I don't know for sure. Is the customer service perfect? No, it's not. But it's a way right now for us to be able to get access to something that we'd never had access to in the past. So I really enjoy the time. Everybody who's tuning in now, thank you very much for tuning in, because the group, the tribe kind of effect, and all of us coming together and thinking about this and talking about it, even if Double D does do a disappearing act, so we're going to have to call him Triple D from now on.
No, mate, that's not going to stick. I'm sorry.
It already is. It already is, because you keep reacting to it. Triple D. That's got a ring to it, mate. You sound like the wrestler. So look, having said that, and we are going to talk, as was promised, I'm going to put Andy on the spot today. We're going to break down not only Bitcoin. It's ranging at about 34,000 at the time of this recording. Is it going to be going down to 30 or below? Is it going to go up out of the range and break through? We don't know, but you will know by the end of this show, in the next 40 minutes or so. You'll know, because Andy, you'll have seen over Andy's shoulder, you'll see his technical analysis to Bitcoin. But we're going to put him on the spot and say, if you were down to your last £1,000, everybody made a run on Barclays and they couldn't get the money out, and you had £1,000 left, would you invest it in Ethereum or Barclays based on what the charts are showing you right now? So we promise, that's our promise to you today, that you will have that information. Oh, what?
You didn't realize what you just said.
No, what did I say?
Well, you can rewatch it now. I'm not telling you.
Grumpy. Someone, Boo-Boo's grumpy.
Somebody will tell you in the chat.
Okay, somebody please inform me of my my sleight of mouth. However, yes, I forgot my trail of thought then. So we'll just start with the next thing. Yeah, Bitcoin and Ethereum, you'll know which one he would go with if he had his last £1,000. In the meantime, let's talk about a couple of other things that have been in the news. I'm going to have to get my phone up for this one. Some more good news. It's the first case. It's kind of a monumental deal. Have you heard about what's gone on in America over the last 24 hours? I said Bitcoin instead of Barclays, apparently.
No, Barclays instead of Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. At least someone was paying attention. Thank you for that, Kevin. Slip of tongue. Sorry. Got excited. Revolution. There we go. So the first legalized DAO in the USA has come out overnight. Probably won't be in the mainstream news. Why would it be? Because it's not part of the legal Ponzi scheme. Have you heard of Crypto Fed DAO?
No.
Has anybody else heard of Crypto Fed in America? It's in the state of Wyoming. So now a lot of these now states are actually coming out, because the ones that kind of want to be proactive and that are not following the status quo and the old rules, Wyoming is really pro crypto. So Crypto Fed is DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So it's basically a company that's based on the blockchain, and now the shareholders and the customers can vote on the blockchain. Everything's transparent. It's got a dual token economy for governance and also another token for daily transaction. So the one for governance is the important one that people can vote on decisions from within the blockchain. That's huge. Never, ever been done before, that a company is actually fully decentralized, autonomous organization. So it's a little kind of, flag in the ground moment that you probably won't hear about, like I said, in the mainstream news. But these things are showing us that slowly but surely it's kind of creeping up on us, that this is starting to come out in day-to-day life, if I can get my words out.
Yeah, no, definitely, and that's how changes happen. It's slow, incremental things and little things like that then lead to more companies following suit. I mean, you can kind of look at the big players never sort of get involved from the high risk point. So that's why you're now seeing a lot more institutions involved with cryptos as well, because once it's been proven to stand past the test of time, they get involved. And once that happens, and like you said there, once you see companies taking that and starting to use the technology, you can see already this is just like a matter of time how it kind of expands. And a lot of it's probably even beyond our understanding right now of how much of an impact it's going to have. I think we can visualize, but it's going to be different when you're living it, and it's just going to be the norm. But we want to make sure that everyone part of this group takes advantage of this shift that's happening and becomes very wealthy from it. That's ultimately, we are obviously pro the technology for the improvements, but people, as Zachariah said, people want to make money. And one thing that I'll say before we do go onto the live charts is scaremongering is going to happen, setbacks are going to happen. This is very, very normal. And if you're scared off because of some Barclays don't let you transfer money to Binance, or or Bitcoin has crashed from 60 to 30, and that's way too much, then this is not really the game for you. But for those that can withstand that, you can seriously become super wealthy from this next from this revolutionized new thing that we're now experiencing and living through. So that's the thing to remember, guys. That's why we're here, to keep reminding you to keep, of course there are risks. We always say that there are risks with these sort of things. It's new, but it's certainly something that we are heavily involved with and we believe in. And
just to back up Andy's point there, the step one for me is just to give everyone a choice, give myself a choice, and share this information with the group. And if you want to have that choice, then great. Some people this game is not going to be for, because you don't feel comfortable going too far off the white line. And if you don't want to do things outside of Barclays or whatever, then that's completely fine. If you want things a little bit slower, there's the ghost again. If you want things a little bit slower, but still with a lot of opportunities, then FX is going to be for you. And you should be on the masterclass that Andy's doing tomorrow on FX. A little plug for that. Obviously, we're going to be giving a ton of value on that. So back to cryptos. One thing, just to give a balanced argument, because we do have to make things balanced. Another thing I saw that was really interesting was the stock market, and how the stock market is likely to have an impact. Definitely in stopping crypto going in a straight line up to 100,000. Now, you'll never hear that being said on this channel. As Andy says, he says it as it is, and he shows you the reasons why, which is why it's fantastic. And all the time, I always laugh when I see some fundamental news and I hear some fundamental people that are very intelligent, and then Andy goes and does his technical prowess, his technical mojo on it, and it ties in exactly with what other people are saying. But with the technical side, you get the short-term moves as well. So there is that opportunity if you want to get involved in the shorter-term stuff as well. With that being said, what was really interesting that I wanted to share in the group as a balanced conversation, because we're not saying the revolution is here and everything, get your money out of the banks. We're not saying that. You may want to consider it, but we're not saying it. But what was really interesting is every 10 years, the stock market has some sort of big crash or correction. It was meant to happen last year, boo-boo, and it didn't. We had that massive dip for sure. I'll always remember that. And you know the reason why. Maybe I'll share it in the group another time. Where the market, especially the NASDAQ, crashed last February, I think it was. And then it really quickly recovered. We never had that crash like we are due every 9 to 10 years. So we have still got that looming. And apparently for the first time, the amount of businesses that are going into a negative is the highest it's been since the last crash. So we have got that to bear in mind. And the last two crashes that we had, one before that was 2008, I think it was, so a little bit longer than the 10-year period. And the one before that, guess what the one before that was, mate?
Tell me.
The dot-com crash. And what is cryptos being compared to? The dot-com bubble, which is really, really interesting how whether it's been pre-planned or whatever, it's very, very interesting. And I just wanted to get your opinion on that. I know for you, it won't really bother your mindset, but it's just good to see what you're thinking about it and obviously being aware of it and what may or may not happen. We're not going to sit here and predict the next black swan event, but what I'm trying to do is get your mindset out to us as regular folk who aren't at this high level as you, but we're trying to get there as quick as we can, to not panic in these situations, which you are like a highly trained professional, which you are. And it's something that we can learn to do over time, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, if in the moment you can panic, but the reality is like, throughout the history of Bitcoin in particular, because that's the main one that's kind of started this all off, may sort your electricity out.
All right, Triple D.
There's been plenty of drops, and this drop that we've had has not even been as big from a percentage point of view as what we experienced in 2017. We had roughly about an 85% drop from the highs in 2017. We've had basically more like a 55% drop on this pullback. This is but like when you look at the upside, like both are exaggerated, right? So why are we getting really big moves up, really big moves down? Because it is a highly volatile asset and it's new and it's not understood by everybody. There's still those doubts. There's fear, and that's why it happens. There's greed and fear, 10x compared to the stock market, and so you get these moves. And this is just a normal pullback for this market. Now, if you had a 55% drop in the stock market, that would be regarded as a huge crash, right? But I think this is just a normal correction in Bitcoin. This is nothing new. I mean, you can look back from the start, from the beginning, and it's had huge percentage corrections. Yeah. So there's in my opinion, this is an asset that should be accumulated on these drops, and if you have the funds to do it, and stored, and you'll be very happy in the next few years. I can't see that not being the case. Of course, there's always risk with any investment. Whereas, you go and invest in, I don't know, like you said, the stock market right now, it's overinflated. I mean, yes, it's been going up for quite a while, and it's due a pullback. And I think you should diversify. You can have multiple things in your portfolio, but I think for growth right now, crypto is the perfect investment. And it's not just Bitcoin. I have a diversified portfolio of different projects that I believe in. Well, one that I believe in, but two, diversifies my risk. And also, like, look, if I wanted to, I could just buy Bitcoin and be safe. Well, not safe, but as safe as you can be. Like, it's the number one. Countries are using it. It's not going to disappear like really easily. Another crypto project could. But I think the gains that in some of the projects that I've invested in could be astronomical compared to Bitcoin now, like Bitcoin was at the beginning.
Yes.
So that, yeah, that's kind of so I really wouldn't. I don't consider this as a major thing. This is just a normal drop. It's just painful if you bought at the top. But the people that bought 20,000 and it then dropped to 3,000, they would have been panicking. But if they held on to their investment, at some point it was worth 65, which is 3x. So even the people that bought at the worst possible time on the last push up, still would be up now, because this is an asset that basically has lots of demand and limited supply. I mean, it's just simple mathematics.
100%. And if you look at the last time it really had a big crash was last year with the Rona. It went from like 30 odd thousand down to 3,800. I didn't even know about cryptos then. Like, I'm not ashamed to say it. It's how far I've come on my journey with this whole thing. And it's just like, would I have bought back then? I'd love to think that I would have bought a couple of coins, or at least one, but who knows? But the thing is now, the difference is that we can see, I keep saying this every week, we can track all the whales are buying more. People are accumulating at these dips. There's less availability of Bitcoin than there ever has been. So if it does go back down to those levels, you've got to ask yourself why. Are there people, like we talk about at the start of the show, that have vested interest in making sure that this doesn't get to where people are thinking it's going to be? But it doesn't matter. Are they going to be able to hold on for that long? Because the change is coming. And the key thing now is that even countries have legally, they've made it legal as tender or whatever you want to say. A couple of countries, they've made it legal. You can get it out of banking machines now. Now we've got this company in Wyoming State. All of these things, and Bitcoin, like we said, there's so much money in Bitcoin as a means of stored value. I don't know if it will ever go down as much as it did even just like 18 months ago. It's going to be really, really interesting. But Bitcoin has a really great bounceability to it, doesn't it? It goes down that low and then it goes back up. Then it's just going to be about when you get in and get out of the ride, or whether you just want to hold it for the longer term. So as usual, we could probably talk for another hour on this, and we will next week. We'll talk about some more new things. There'll be some more things coming up in the circus. We'll get to point, we'll get to stare, we'll get to have a laugh. Obviously, if you're in it, like people were saying last week, be brave, hold true to your convictions, pick projects that you like the look of, and then go from there. So with that being said, let's get to the point of the show, which is the professional trade setup of the week. And we've got a double whammy from Double D for you this week. Let me just get it up. He's trying not to react. I love it. Brilliant. So where are we? Okay, now someone's turned the light out. Where are we with Bitcoin and what's like?
I can't see you. Can you? Are you there?
That is karma. That is karma.
That is karma.
If you're just tuning in,
Gavin, guys.
If you're just tuning in,
right, if anybody can see Gavin, please let me know. There he is. He's put his tan on.
I'm glad that I'm not the feature of this part of the show. So, Mr. Demi, please tell us, what is the likely movement of Bitcoin over the next 7 days? Are we going to stay in the range? Are we going to break it down? Are we going to break it high? What are you predicting from your crypto mystic ball?
Well, I'll tell you what, let me, can you see my screen, by the way? Yeah. Let me just bring in the charts that I look at daily, and then I'm going to bring in some plain charts as well. So, because this looks super messy. And you can see here, look at it's still stuck in this range. But, you know, I believe that we're not going to go any lower right now, as in we're not going to break these lows right now. I think we're more likely to find a push up. However, having said that, I've said this a few times now, this line is the line that is holding this market down right now before a significant pullback. So if you want to be a little bit more safe, you'd be looking for a break of this line here. You can see this is the line that's basically holding this down. So we had resistance here. We've had resistance here recently as well. Obviously, we've had this bearish daily close. Volume has kind of died off here. So there's not a lot of volume on either side. It looks a little bit quiet at the moment. But I'm expecting, as of now, I'm expecting some kind of bounce and for us to break this and to at least push up to this next line. And then we'll kind of see how we react down here. And this is what I've been saying. I think now this could also do that, but I just don't think we're going to break these lows right now. I think we're going to go up. I'm just going to do something that I don't always do for myself, but I think it's worth doing. Is to look at the bigger time frames, like the monthly charts. And I know I've got all these alerts here, so that's why they're showing there. But this is what the monthly chart looks like right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add in some moving averages from here. In fact, hold on. I've got a template here that will make it easier. Ah, no, I thought it was... one sec. This one, sorry. Why is it not showing up? That's strange. Okay. For some reason, it's maybe it's because it's okay. Let's
need to upgrade your package, mate. Go for the pro version of TradingView.
Let's do it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to add in the 50 for now. We'll make this red. Why is it not showing up? What's going on? Super weird, right? Hold on, I've got an idea. I think it's because there's not enough data. There we go. It's just there's not enough data. Mm-hmm. So that's quite interesting. So the 50 EMA brings you all the way down here, if it was going to go down there. And I'm going to just add in the EMA. I'm going to add in the 20 as well. 21. 21. So let's have a little look here. Okay, so the 21 comes in there. Now, what we've basically got here is an evening star on the monthly chart. Okay, so an evening star on the monthly chart, which is basically bearish, guys, right? So that's a bearish sign. But you can also see that we've just created this rejection bar here on the monthly, which would normally result in a push up. Now, typically, a candlestick formation, such as an evening star, will be tested 50% of the time, even if it fulfills, a down move. So I always like to see where the potential pullback could be. And so the way you do that is you take the fib, and normally, like, the market likes to go back to the 618 or the 50%, tend to be good targets. So if we do that and we take that into account right now, the 618 comes in there, which is, wow, excellent. That's at 50,000, which is really interesting.
Yep.
And then we've got 46.5. And I'm also going to just put in the 786, as sometimes that's the other pullback as well. The most popular pullback in all my testing in these is this one, the 618. The 618 is where it typically will pull back to. So what I believe right now is I think we're going to get a rally. I think we're going to get a rally, possibly, it looks like we're going to hopefully get a rally this month or the next couple of months. We could also end up with another rejection bar there like that. But I think at some point in the next couple of months, we're going to get a push up. And I think that is a really nice area to kind of look for, back at the 618. So that doesn't mean we are back in the uptrend at this stage. We will still have a lot to prove at this level here, because that could just go up there, and then the market could, it could even just consolidate and then take off again like that, right? These are monthly charts, so this could be a long time. Right now, I think there's enough potential for this market to push up from here, and then we'll kind of see. So right now, I think it's a good time to be accumulating cryptos in general, because if Bitcoin goes up, the alts will also be pushed up. And then look for, don't kind of get carried away that we're going to break the high and we're going to go to 100,000 right now because it hit 50,000 or whatever, or it hit 45,000. I would just be a little bit more wary than we were when we were here, okay? Because when we were here, there was kind of no sign of a pullback. And then we got that on the monthly, and then we got that on the monthly, and now we've got a little bit of sign of bullishness coming back in to the market. Does that make sense, everyone? Let me know if that kind of makes sense. And I'm gonna just type in a yes if it makes sense. And I'm gonna just quickly go and have a little look again on a plain chart, on the weekly chart here, to see again what we've got. So again, it's kind of like, I know some people will look at that and say, oh, is that a head and shoulders? Yeah, I mean, you could look at that as a potential head and shoulders. Maybe a bit clearer on the daily, but often head and shoulders, they look like them and then they don't turn out to be them. So once you kind of take out this high here, then it no longer is. So once 41,500 is taken out, then it isn't. But one of the things the other thing that you should be looking for as targets, if it does rally, is the most recent lows. So if you have a look here, we had a low point created here, and we had a low point created here. You should mark these down like that. And again, these become potential target areas. So between 45 and 48.8, I think is a nice area to be taking profits on any buys that you've done on Bitcoin. And we'll see kind of like, and it could actually do this, guys. It could just, once it kind of goes, it could even spike into 50,000 and then, and then find some resistance. And then it will have a decision to make. And at that point, we don't know. But the overall sign is up. Overall, I think there's short-term up right now, but I'm not convinced yet that we are ready to break the highs. In fact, I don't think we are just yet. We have got this support line. I mean, it could at some point come back, to find this support line. It's possible, which means that we're going to have kind of like a long period of us not going anywhere on Bitcoin. But that doesn't mean, by the way, that the altcoins won't be moving. It is altcoin season right now, and the altcoins tend to perform better than Bitcoin. So that's a possibility as well. But right now, specifically on Bitcoin, I think there's an opportunity to find some buying, accumulate, and take it up to these levels. And then I would be looking to kind of take some profits at these areas. And if I go back, yeah, like I said before, to my Bitcoin chart over here, even though it looks messy, you know, I do believe that we're going to have some kind of push and we'll break through here. But at the moment, that's not being realized. This is just based on what I can see right now. I think it kind of feels like it needs some big low test bar or some news to come out to break through here, and then we'll rally to here. And then again, you know, there's your kind of 50,000 mark up here. So that is somewhere. But you can see that is, look at that. That level is really, really nice. So that's kind of what I'd expect, guys. I think this is an area that you should mark down. If you are long Bitcoin, or if you're buying Bitcoin, I would be looking to take some profit around here, around this sort of area. Okay, so I'm just gonna let me know if that's okay, and I'll move on to Ethereum. Anybody got any questions?
No, people are saying yes. That's all understood. So yeah, let's crack on with with breakdown number 2 this week.
Okay, just I don't know if we've got the time, but I can come back to this. You know, when you're accumulating, but let's go into Ethereum first and see how we go. Nice to see some green. Okay. Again, I'm going to do this just to add something different on the higher time frames. I don't know if we can get a little bit more data. That would be quite useful. It's needed on a monthly chart. So again, we could do something similar here. This here is a bearish candle formation. Okay, this is a bearish candle formation, which basically means typically the market goes lower, but 50% of the time it gets tested. And again, we should know where the 618 is of this whole move, because that could be an area where we might want to consider taking some profit, where we might get carried away that this market definitely is breaking the highs and then we get caught out again. So just have that in your minds. That level comes in at 3361. Okay. So I would be looking to buy it again. I mean, I have been accumulating, but I'm going to definitely be a bit more cautious. It won't be a kind of like, especially if you're buying on margin, just hold it, because, you know, it's going to go to 10,000. If we get really nice bullish price action, then we can always buy back in again. So you could maybe buy it. Again, you've got a nice low test monthly chart there. Buy it. Look to take some profit, scale out, maybe leave a little bit on. And if it starts to break up, then look to add back in again. And if it pulls back down and you can get a nice pullback area, you can always buy back in again. So let's have a little look at the weekly chart as well and see what that looks like. Okay. Yeah, so there is like, so you can really see that evening star again, really, really clearly on this one. And you've got the cross. And again, it's very similar to Bitcoin in the sense that at some point we may get a pullback to this kind of long term. So where's that? Let's find that 618 again from here to here. and we'll see if it kind of makes sense. So we could get something like, you know, a push up to here and something along those lines before resuming the uptrend. So I think where the safest place is, again, look to take as much as you can, obviously with risk management, make as much money on the obvious, and then exit, save your money, let the market do its thing. If it's showing you that it's got strength, no worries. We've got the skills to go onto the lower time frames and start to buy back up here. Because once you're in that uptrend, you're golden, right? What we just want to be careful of, you don't want to get carried away. Wow, you buy, wow, it's going to go to the moon. We buy here, bang, down. And you're like, oh my word, I've just bought the high. And now you're going through that. So so now it's not as easy as it was here. But you certainly, with a bit of knowledge, a little bit more work, you can make a lot of money. And you can make, the great thing is, let's look at the positives, guys. If this happens, right, imagine you buy it and you take profit there and you're happy, great. You've just grown your account up. You exit, you're back in dollars. And then this happens. Well, you should be extremely happy because it's on sale again. And like, oh, wow, fantastic. Now I've got more money. I can buy it again, but I can buy more this time. So either way, we'll be happy. The only time you'll be unhappy is if you literally buy the top and then it comes down.
So nobody here should be buying that at that point.
No, not with the current information that we have. Let's go into the daily chart. And yeah, at the moment, we don't really have anything telling us. So let me just do a couple of little things here. What have we got time, mate?
Yeah, we've got time.
Okay. Let's do
about 5 or 6 minutes.
Okay. All right. Just going to see what the market is showing us here. So what level was that? I'll just remind myself.
For the resistance, it was at
3344. Yeah, 3344. Okay. So 3344. All right, it's roughly there. So you could definitely be looking at, so we might find some resistance here if we break through this, right? So maybe you don't want to buy here, right? You're thinking, okay, maybe it's going to go down, maybe it's going to go back down here. You don't want to buy it right now. You could wait for the breakout. So let this line break and then go to the lower time frames and look to buy either on a pullback back here or just on a C to D upwards on the 4-hour chart. And it could easily do something like that and get a pullback. And then we basically would need, for us to get really bullish again, that would be ideal. And then we buy again here. And there'll probably be some kind of market angle there. Or this market breaks up here and then we could look for the pullback to buy. So, you know, if you're quite close to this resistance, you might want to wait for it to break. If you haven't been, I mean, I've been buying it. I've been accumulating basically little bits as it's gone down here. So I've not got a huge position, but I've got a decent position. And if we do break up, I may add on a pullback here. So, and then I'd be kind of thinking, right, that will be a good take profit. If you've been buying from 2000, great. Even if you buy from here, you'll make some good money from that. There's a decent move there. There's a 40% move there from here to here. And then you can look to take profit and then see what the market's going to show us. So, and since you asked me the question.
He remembered.
I am going to do something here that maybe people don't know how to do. Actually, you could probably do it together. We'll price them together. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So this is the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. Maybe people don't necessarily look at that. And if you look at this, you have to say that
can you, I haven't never looked at this before. Can you give us the elevator pitch of what's actually going on? What is this chart exhibiting? Just for those of us that don't know.
Yeah. So this is basically the chart of Ethereum versus, instead of Ethereum versus the US dollar, it's Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So it will tell us basically, you know, both Bitcoin and Ethereum could go up against the dollar. So if you have like ETH, USD, BTC, USD, if this one goes up by 1% and you're holding Bitcoin, you're like, great, I've made money, I've made 1%. If Ethereum goes up 3%, well, you're saying, great, I've made money, I'm happy. But what you don't realize is that there was an opportunity cost. You actually left 2% on the table, because if you'd put your money into this one instead of this one, you would have made an extra 2%. So what you can do is, like, if you've got £1,000 or $1,000 and you want to invest it, and you're thinking, okay, which one do I want to put it in? Well, you can look at, if you know, is it Ethereum or is it Bitcoin? You can look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, and you can decide, actually, is Ethereum likely to go up higher than Bitcoin over the coming months? And then you make your decision based on that. So this right now looks like an uptrend. I mean, you've got a kind of flag. So if this flag breaks, then it looks like it's going to go up. I would probably be looking for a better entry though. So either for, so Ethereum will probably find some resistance here. If Ethereum breaks against Bitcoin, breaks this, then you can basically move your money from Bitcoin to Ethereum. It's probably going to make you more. And you can do that with any crypto, by the way. So if you're deciding, look, I've got money in Bitcoin, should I put it somewhere else? Will it grow more? You can just do a comparison like that. But you know, what we could do is, you know, maybe look for a buy somewhere here or here would be better. So you're buying on support. If not, so right now, overall, if you're telling me which one is a better investment, I would say Ethereum. I would put, if I had to invest right now, I would invest in Ethereum. I believe that will grow. Overall, it will grow more than Bitcoin for the rest of the year. So if it was like, you know, holding it until the rest of the year, you know, whether it happens kind of now or whether it happens a little bit later, you know, I think Ethereum, and also being altcoin season, will be a better investment than Bitcoin, in my opinion, right now. But you can diversify and do both.
No, that was not the challenge for today.
No, I'm saying Ethereum then. I'm saying Ethereum.
Mate, thank you very much for that. That was another Andy Demi mic drop moment. Absolutely slamming the value as per usual. Oh, I'm not sure what that was. You kind of ruined it at the end there, mate, but we'll let you off because that was so good. So thank you very much for that, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in live. Hope you got the value and the questions, or the answers to your questions. Ethereum or Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin going? Where is Ethereum likely to go? And then make your decisions based on that. We have got some really great information over the short to medium picture about where to get in, where not to get in. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Demi. Is there anything you want to say before we go? Because there was something that came to mind. I've just remembered it now. But do you want to say anything first before we go?
No, I've just seen somebody's asking a question: would I buy in spot or margin? If I'm investing for the long term, I buy in spot. If I want to maximize my gains, I buy in margin. But if I'm buying in margin, then I want the optimal price. So I wouldn't buy it here, basically, unless I've averaged in at the right price. So if I've been buying, so like I've been buying at 2,000, I might add a little bit here because I've bought a lot at lower prices. But if you're buying margin at these prices with resistance coming in, you could get liquidated. So if in doubt, buy spot, basically. Like spot is safer if you're not sure how to trade margin efficiently. But yeah, other than that, no, not much really to share. I think it's a very interesting time in the crypto space with all this kind of FUD that's been shared across the board. But it's going to take a lot to scare me off this market, and probably you guys. That's why you're here with us. You would have left by now if you were one of those. And I believe that if you stick with it, stick with us, we will guide you as much as we can, as we develop, as we learn, because obviously it's new to everybody. But I do believe that my experience in the markets, I've seen everything, and this is just one other thing. It's a new thing, but it's nothing to fear. Just be brave, invest. Don't listen to your friends who are telling you it's risky or it's whatever, and you have to think for yourself. And that's it.
Although it's a new market, it's kind of the same moves. When you were drawing in, especially the Bitcoin chart, it could have been a Euro USD or something of FX now, because it's getting into ranging world, right? So for you, even though it's a new experience and there's new outside noise and outside factors, actually from a charting point of view and a technical point of view, it's the same old lines, it's the same old areas that you're looking at, right? And now it's just becoming like an FX play.
It is, yeah. It's not really any different. The approach is the same. So, but but from a sort of opportunity point of view, this is huge. Like especially for people investing in this space, I think you just got to be really patient and hold, and don't kind of have a 2-minute window. Have a 5-year window, and your life can change dramatically for it. So. Don't forget, guys, we will be on live tomorrow. We might have a little special for people that turn up live who sacrifice the football. How about that, Gavin? We spoke about it before the show. So anybody who's interested in FX turns up tomorrow. We're going to have something special for them. Are we doing that?
Well, we are now.
We are now. I've announced it. So it's not a trophy. I'm sorry. You're not getting a trophy for turning up.
Awesome. Look, that's we will do it, because obviously you have promised it now. You said it now. So Slavomir is saying where to register for that. I'll put the link in here. It's a free water bottle.
Could be.
You got it. Raj is going to be there. She was on the FX show yesterday. If you're new to the group, we do an FX show on Mondays, crypto show on Tuesdays. Every other week, we do a masterclass. But this one is going to be there's going to be some extra stank on it because of the football. We know basically what you guys are potentially going to be giving up and going against the crowd, going against the masses. So we will be rewarding those of you that turn up live. That is for sure. And Teo, new person watching on YouTube, join the group, the Crypto and FX Traders Club on Facebook. You'll get all of these kind of alerts. You'll get the rest of the tribe. We've got over 4,000 members now sharing their like-minded thoughts, all led by this man, Mr. Andy Demi. But thank you for your kind words, Teo. Joining this team definitely calms you in this market and makes you see things a lot clearer. So on that note, we're going to bounce. For those of you that want to jump on the FX train with us, join us tomorrow. There will be that extra special bonus. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week. Come on, England, as they say. And who's your money on for them to play in the final? Or do you not even care?
Italy.
Oh, controversial. The dark horse. We shall see what happens, guys. Have an amazing rest of the day. We are out.
Take care, guys.